Hello, hello, and welcome back to today's channeled wisdom circle. Once again, I am Guardian Goddess Iman, and we're hopping right in today. The topic is respect for your journey. And there is so much wrapped up in this. But with the respect for your journey, I'm talking about having appreciation for your journey, honoring your journey, being considerate of your journey, of your becoming, and also recognizing the importance of it. So, actually, I'll start this one with the excerpt from Divinity Session 11. So, as I begun to uh, channel this in, it doesn't happen every time, but today it directed me to this particular divinity session. And this one is talking about that importance of your journey and the importance of your becoming. So, can we pull that up, please? And the passage is the excerpt. So important is your path that it must be seized. It all works together in this intricate maze of destruction, chaos, rebuilding, and birth. It must be done to save our world. And I'm going to repeat that opening sentence. So important is your path that it must be seized. So, in recognizing how important your journey is, all of the experiences within it, for your soul growth and for all of existence, because everything is connected. Yes, there is the illusion of separation, but each experience contributes to the whole, contributes to everyone and everything. So, with this message of respect for your journey, as it's coming through, it feels like there are some people that's experiencing frustration, impatience around where they are in their journey and not really seeing the beauty of it. And yesterday we talked about the gifts. What is the gift of the present moment? This is also about respecting every aspect of yourself that you are moving through, the different experiences that you have, the different challenges and opportunities and obstacles that you are being called to face and to conquer, because it's all for your growth. So, where in your experience, where in your journey needs more appreciation, needs more respect? That respect can also be actively nurturing yourself through whatever it is that you're going through. This particular message, respecting your journey, it's about the small moments and the more macro, the macro and the micro moments and experiences. And it's important to recognize and honor the seasons of your becoming. We all go through different seasons in life and our experiences, and relating it to the natural world. There are some times when it's a planting stage, it's a nurturing phase. Okay, we're in the springtime, the rain is coming down, the emotions are flowing, things are being purged, and new things are being born and grown. We have the summertime when it's time for the harvest, reaping all that you have already sown and utilizing those benefits, experiencing that openness. And then there's also seasons where things begin to fall away. It's time for you to go within and reevaluate what you're experiencing, how you're growing, all of those different things. And there are also those periods of rest where you just need to step away and allow yourself to rejuvenate energetically, physically, and spiritually. with respecting your journey and your seasons of becoming, make sure that you aren't trying to rush out of one season into the next prematurely. Every experience that you have is for a reason and a purpose. And with me saying don't try to rush out of it, it's a balance. Making sure that you get the lesson from your experiences, that you integrate and apply those lessons. And also, don't get stuck sitting in the mud. Don't get stuck solely focusing on the healing, the healing, the healing, the healing. We go through many cycles of healing in this lifetime. There are periods of time where you will be just healed. All is well. Everything's great. Boom, boom, boom. And there are other times where something in life happens, a new challenge, a new obstacle is presented, and now that's giving you a new, an opportunity to expand into a new dimension of your becoming. But even within that, there are seasons when you're standing in that healed state, when the work is simply in the embodiment, in the appreciation. Again, I say that's one of the memes today, appreciation of what you've already done, how you've already grown, and appreciation of who you are in the moment. Not trying to rush into a different version of yourself and neglecting the present, but really extracting all the juice of the current experience. Respecting every single season, respecting, I'm going to again relate it to the physical, respecting sometimes the season change and allergies start messing up. Can we also appreciate that? And yes, there are things you can do with biokinesis to alleviate allergies and metaphysics to alleviate allergies, right? So the appreciation might be in, oh, I have the tools now to experience this transition differently. We're going to talk about the transitions and the phases. When you are beginning to take flight or remembering your wings, recognizing a new level of your ascended state and remembering that, there's a bit of recalibration that's needed. But even in that, in the message to have respect for your journey, honoring if you are feeling frustration and anger and discomfort and any other undesirable emotion and feeling about those stages, but also allowing yourself to see that bird's eye view and seeing the beauty in the mosaic. All of these experiences that you have in your day to day, year to year, month to month, okay, solar return to solar return, those are a new addition to this mosaic. And if anyone doesn't know what a mosaic is, it is an art form that is created from a bunch of smaller pieces, usually ceramics or glass. And if you're up close to it and you're looking at it, it does not look like much. But when you step back, you're able to see, oh, all these little pieces, all these different experiences and things created this larger picture. It created the overarching experience, right? It's the difference between looking at a photo from a film and actually seeing the film itself, seeing it in its entirety. So when I say see the beauty in the mosaic, taking time to step back and, back up from that one tree that you're staring at so you can see the entire forest, Ooh, that's a callback. So you can be the eye in the forest. And that's a callback from a previous divinity session, as well as a song on metasoulmusic.com. So check that out. But you can be that eye in the forest. You can observe what's happening in your life, in your experience, and see it for what it is. See the truth within it, not just the minute details that you may be hyper focused on. Take a step back and admire the experience, admire your divinity that you already carry, and having reverence for that, having reverence for the process of remembering, expressing, and embodying your divinity. So important is your path that it must be seized, is the excerpt from the Book of Rasheeda. Your path is important. The things that you go through and experience is important to you and your own soul growth, to you and your own life purpose, and to every single being and energy that you create, every single being and energy that you interact with, and all of those mirror moments that are opportunities to have your divinity reflected back to you. Speaking again about the illusion of separation and the fact that we are all one, all divinity expressing in many different forms and experiencing itself to return to higher levels of divine remembrance, to the remembrance that you are already ascended. Each individual feeds the whole. I mentioned the mosaic, right? One person's specific experience has a ripple effect on everything. So even this is a message of worthiness that's coming through right now, of recognizing how important you are as a being of light, as a person here in this realm. And that the things that you feel, the things that you express, the things that you don't express, all of that is important. And it's a message coming through to apply compassion to yourself. And I'm getting a little emotional in this one, so I can feel that a couple of people need to hear this right now. Applying compassion to yourself for wherever you are on your journey, whatever it is that you're experiencing, whatever trauma loops may be replaying, whatever feedback loops may be representing itself. I mentioned before we go through cycles of healing. And I'm also going to mention the spiral key that we talk about in the Pathways to Divine Consciousness and Fulfillment, that course. Those spiral key moments are moments for you to choose differently, to recognize patterns, and to allow yourself to stand tall in the season that you're in and express the level of divinity that you currently have. Spiral key moments are when similar themes pop up in your life, similar lessons reappear and resurface for you to face this time. You're a different person now. Who you were when you previously experienced that thing is no longer here. You've grown in some way, shape, or form. So you have new tools, you have new wisdom, you have new perspectives that you can apply to this thing. You are new to this level, but you're not new to the game. Being able to recognize that. And also applying compassion during those spiral key moments when you may feel like you're in a season of retrograde, when you feel like you're going back, things that you thought you've already dealt with are coming back to your attention in a new way. Giving yourself compassion for that. Yes, there may be frustration, thinking, oh, I've already healed this. I should be done with this. This should be gone already and fully. Honoring and respecting that aspect of your human experience and respecting the gap between where you are now and where you are seeking to grow, where you're seeking to grow into, what you're seeking to rise to, the version of yourself that you are working to express, working to stabilize. Giving yourself compassion through the journey, right? We talked about respect for the journey, having appreciation, the consideration, the honor, honoring all versions of yourself. Even if you feel like it's not desirable, that version of you, that expression of yourself is here for a reason. It may have been some years ago that aspect, that expression of yourself helped you to get through some tough times. But now it's creating disharmony and alignment. That applying that compassion is having compassion for who you had to be to get through different moments in your life. This is specifically talking about the survival mode, the things you had to do while in survival mode to survive through that season, how you had to express during that time. And with this applying compassion, we're also talking about the grief that can come up when you are working on yourself, when you have to allow aspects of yourself to fall away, when you have to begin practicing non-attachment, right? A lot of the times when grief comes up and people talk about grief, it's about losing other people from your life. It's about someone transitioning from the physical back to the spiritual realm. But what I'm mostly referring to right now is about the grief that comes up when you're evolving, those growing pains. That's another way to look at it. Applying compassion to those growing pains, to the moments when you realize you can't hold on to this aspect of yourself anymore, or you can't hold on to these physical possessions anymore, or you can't hold on to these patterns anymore. Applying compassion and grace to those moments and respecting that entire journey of moving through the growing pains, of birthing the next version of yourself, of allowing the vulnerability to experience life again. Ooh, that's a good one right there. I love it. Allowing, I don't even remember my exact words right now. Y'all got it on a replay. Boom, boom. But really, this is where the appreciation comes from. This is where seeing the beauty in the mosaic is needed. To recognize that past version of yourself, to see the beauty in your current expression of self, even as you are growing, and also seeing the beauty in the path that you are walking down. And I saw someone mention the difficulty of grief in the comments. Grief is difficult, right? There's the different stages that you have to go through. It's a process. Yes, and acceptance is always key. I mentioned before, practicing the non-attachment. That grief appears because there is an attachment. So the more that you practice non-attachment in different aspects of your journey, the easier it is to build that muscle that helps you get to acceptance faster. And this is again where applying the compassion comes in. Applying the compassion for what it is that you are working through. Yes, we're doing the work, we're applying the tools, we're using our spiritual power and all of these things, but also honoring that healing process. And right now it's coming to me as when someone has to physically heal something, whether that is a physical wound, a injury, or whatever. There's many layers of that experience. It's what happens in the physical body. It's what happens emotionally while going through that. Having compassion for all of it. I have to speak about the multidimensional experience right now. When I mention the multidimensional experience, what I'm referencing is the very layered and nuanced experience that this human experience is. Yes, we're walking through this human experience in this physical vessel, but we are also spiritual beings. We also have the ability to go through this life, have the human emotions without being controlled by it. There has been times, speaking about my experience for a second, where I'll have the emotion of grief for whatever reason. Something is transforming and changing in my life, or people have transitioned and there's grief. And even within that, even on the journey of getting to the acceptance, right? There may be grief, there may be tears, there may be sorrow, but also there's the gratitude for having experienced the thing that I'm now having grief for. I'm going to run that back and break it down a little bit. This is the multidimensional aspect and applying compassion put together. You can grieve something that's lost or something that's changing and also have active appreciation for the experiences that you've had. Have active appreciation for the fact that whatever it is that you're grieving is also creating space and creating room, if you allow it, creating space for something that is in alignment and something new that can help you soar higher, fly higher. In me saying that, speaking about grieving aspects of yourself, yes, a particular version of you may need to fall away, is no longer needed, right? You can release that with love. But in knowing that, it's two sides of a coin. In knowing that, there's also a new aspect of yourself that is emerging, going back to speaking about the seasons of your becoming, right? You might be in that fall, that winter season, but we still know that spring is coming, that summer is coming. And what it is that you're, the new version of yourself that you're birthing. I'm going to relate this to the physical realm again. When a woman gives birth for the first time, that is the creation and birth of this new child, this new life that is external of her, but it's also the rebirth of self from the previous version without children to now having the title of mother. There's a dual rebirth happening there, a dual birth happening there. Thinking about that from the standpoint of your own experience and rebirthing yourself, right? And nurturing and honoring your becoming, having respect for that entire journey. Again, as a part of you is falling away, there's something new that has the opportunity to be born. All you have to do is allow it. Recognizing the multidimensional aspects of that experience, it is not necessarily going to be neat and pristine process of your becoming, of shifting into your next level, of releasing these aspects of yourself. The process of creation includes a little bit of chaos. Chaos is needed for that because that's where the change happens. Now, you don't have to stay in the chaos long. With this message today of respect for your journey, again, it's having that bird's eye view, being able to admire the hills and the valleys and recognize that life itself in this physical realm with the heartbeat, it is not always at a high. When we see on, I think it's called the EKG machine, the heartbeat, it goes up and down. It's constantly changing, right? It may have a pattern, it may have a rhythm, but every moment is not going to be a mountaintop moment. There are going to be some moments where you're moving through valleys, or you're in the trenches. The question and the challenge and the prompt, I'll say, of today is how can you respect all those aspects of your journey? How can you respect the mountaintop moments? And while you're on those mountaintop moments, giving gratitude for the valleys and the journey that you had to go on to reach that mountaintop? Can you hold appreciation for and honor all the gems of wisdom that you've gathered along the way as you're moving down that mountain or going to a higher level on the mountain, okay? But just recognizing change is always a part of life. And being able to stand in that, stand empowered in it, stand with self-love in those different seasons, and honor and have reverence for all of those moments. That's the message of today. Have respect for your journey. And if you're going through some rough, tough, turbulent times, step back and actively look for the beauty in the mosaic. Actively look for the ways that you are going to grow from this experience. How is it building your courage? How is it building your tenacity? How is it building your resilience? And even in those good times, how is it reflecting your divinity back to you? Take a moment today and look for things in your current journey and your past journey that is calling out for you to appreciate it, to honor it. Y'all, Zord Kumti, I will catch you tomorrow. And until next time, be well and thrive, y'all. Perpetually.
They said my edges were too rough, too sharp. Told me to smooth it all out, but I wear my scars like battle art. No fear.